if we had never met,
So, but first, just say like,
but we are talking in a bit.
just say like, found these on the.
Okay, that's what I mean. Yeah.
Yeah.
First of all, just had the most amazing dinner.
Yes.
Still having it. Braai broodjies, 2 broodjies, and
Some wine.
and fillet. Most
Um,
incredible fillet.
Yeah.
Marinated with soy sauce.
There was chili and garlic and ginger. Very Eastern.
And maple syrup.
Eastern with a bit of a Western mix.
Yeah, just so good.
Not often you find with Western fillet, something you probably find in Eastern food. But a bit of a crossover was amazing.
Okay. Okay. This is something we found on Instagram. From Lewis House. Hose.
Can't say hose.
Can't say hose.
Yeah.
How's that? Lewis House. It's the thing starts off with something like I've lost it now. 9 vulnerable questions to ask in a relationship. Okay. Number 1. If we had never met, how do you think life would be different?
Okay, so I think my life right now would be fairly boring and without direction. I think you've brought an amazing energy to my life. If we hadn't met, I would have carried on a path of mediocrity, I suppose.
And self-destruction at some point.
At some point, yes. I think I was definitely very much in a state of woe and, how can I say, not depression, but just feeling sorry for myself and not wanting to get out there and get things back on track. I suppose I can tell them. I had lost my partner to pancreatic cancer, and it really shook me and made me question the very essence of life itself and why we were here on this planet. And I was going down a dark rabbit hole of self-destruction, probably using too many drugs, to tell you the truth, and until I met this beautiful woman who was on a similar path but in different circumstance. And if we hadn't met, I might have carried on down that path. And now I just have this amazing direction, and I know where I want to be, I know what I want to do, and life is back on track, and life is actually amazing right now, and I'm not looking back. We're carrying on down this path together.
Hell yeah.
It's been amazing.
Oh my God, if I had met you I was also on a bit of not so much a self-destruct with lots of drug use, but I was definitely on a self-destruct path of I guess like guilt and right, like doing my head in with thinking that I don't know.
Well, Yeah, I think when I met you, you were definitely in a dark place as well, and I think that's what brought us together initially. Is this we counseled each other, we talked about our pasts, your past of emotional abuse. When I found you, you were a broken woman, and I was the same as a man. I felt broken, and I think together we really helped each other find meaning, to move on again, and it was very special. So,
and we almost didn't know it at the time, which was quite awesome as well. We just hung out and counseled each other, and then
found so much commonality.
Yeah. It's beautiful.
It's a common ground we found between each other of things we appreciated, things we wanted out of life, things we'd been through in the past, and that kind of, for me, set the foundation of our relationship, the start of something which we both weren't very sure of in the beginning, but became magical.
But it wasn't overnight.
Yes, it wasn't overnight. We had to work at it. And
these vibrators are really good. Not letting them go.
Relationships are something you have to work at. They don't just get offered up on a plate. What was offered up on a plate was opportunity. And I always rely on my gut. And I saw this opportunity, those many signs, and I knew that somehow this was going to be something special. So it has turned out that way. So yes, I cannot imagine how my life would be without you right now.
And also, I'm going to drop the thing that my mom said.
Yes.
That's so weird.
Yes, that is amazing. That is amazing.
Okay, so the weirdest thing is that, first of all, no, it doesn't need to come in that order. When my mom and I saw you at the pastry place, Andy and Alfred, shout out, thank you. When it was an old location, and you were there with Tony Lawrence, and you were looking at something in the guidebook. It looked like you were doing publishing work, whatever. I went to the pastry place. I was with my mom, and Colin was there, and it was winter, and Colin arrives, classic, in his slippers. Standard winter shoes, and I was like, oh, he's such a cool guy. And I was like, I had just, I'll look into that one later, had just met him, and like a few weeks ago, and I said to my mom, oh, this is Colin Crabtree, that's that like legend climber. And we were sitting there like, oh yeah, that's Colin, yeah. And then we got up and Colin and I spoke. He just had his car broken into and gear stolen and a shoe lost, and anyways, besides the point, we can get into that again at another time. That's actually a different story. Yeah. But anyways, the bottom line is that my mom, hey mom,
Hey mom,
had this really strange, what I think was very strange, feeling that the first time she saw Colin, she had this very fleeting feeling. She didn't speak about it at the time. She kind of just ignored it, but obviously subsequently told me that when she saw Colin, she had this feeling that somehow this man is going to be in our lives. That was like her looking at him, having this like feeling, and then like, I guess not knowing what to do with it, because what do you do with a feeling like that actually, you know? You know, you don't know where or how, so you just like ignore it. But then obviously when Colin and I started spending more time together and started seeing each other more often, then she told me about this. And it was quite overwhelming.
Yeah. And I think both of us, we firmly believe that, the universe sends you messages or sets up a path for you to follow, and sometimes it gives you a beautiful gift, and it puts two paths in a trajectory that somehow one day will meet. And we firmly believe this is what's happened with us.
Yeah.
And it's been amazing. So, to answer that question, I cannot think.
Can't imagine any other way.
Can't imagine any other way.
I think, and I feel very strongly that we have known each other for I don't know how long.
Yeah.
Years, generations, I don't know.
Yeah.
It feels very
like I've known you. I've known you for thousands of years.
Deep, yeah.
Yeah.
So we actually spoke about this a lot at the beginning. It's just this feeling of having met one another again.
Yeah. And when we started hanging out, it's like we'd known each other forever.
Yeah.
There was just no awkwardness at all. It just felt normal and natural.
So it feels more of a reunion in a way.
Yeah.
A reunion.
Strange, but true.
Yeah.
So that answers that question.